Entering the Mayo Experience.
That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. That Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings, the football season finale of Super Bowl 57. Best bets, the gold, the silver, the bronze. We got one more go around with football for right now, although maybe in 2 weeks' time we'll do our best future bets for the NFL. Who knows? But I do not want to lose the fun of talking to Rob and Cam every single week, so we'll figure out a way to make it work. If you are here and you have not left an audio review because you enjoy the show so much, you've been listening all year long, but haven't left that 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do us a solid. Go do that. It takes 20 seconds of your time. You can do it while you're listening to this show. If you're watching the video, smash the like. Sub to Mayo Media Network. And this week only, runthesims.com, completely free. So if you want to get in and simulate the game 10,000 times with your own numbers, or just use the standard numbers that are up there, you can do that very easily and find the best props for you, the best DraftKings lineups for yourself. I'll have a DraftKings breakdown coming Friday with the founder of runthesims.com, Justin Freeman, who has won a lot of money over the years in DraftKings Showdown. There's $1 million up top this weekend, so you should check that out. All odds today are provided by DraftKingsSportsbook.com. And before we got on the line, fellas, not the most fun week to do content, Super Bowl week, weirdly enough.
Well, I mean, listen, there is part of it that I enjoy, but it's very repetitive in nature, right? You're talking about the same props generally over and over and over and over and over. But it is a sad week, too. Because like this past Sunday, I didn't know what to do with myself. I had there was no football, there was a Pro Bowl or dodgeball competition, or whatever they were running for the NFL. But aside from that, it's sad that it's coming to an end. So if I could take, repeatedly talking about the NFL over and over versus no NFL for 6 months, I'll probably go with the NFL.
Well, Pat, I was actually thinking you're going to bring us on next week to break down the XFL. Those San Antonio Brahma Bulls look pretty interesting. St. Louis Battlehawks, the favorite at 4-1 to win it all. Hey, you're set at Pizzola way. No betting on the NHL skills competition. Whatever, man. Justin Rose won the golf tournament for me, so it was a friggin' great Monday, man. Pat, it's been a nice week. That win softened the blow, buddy, but we'll come up with something. We got Masters. We got other stuff. There's always something to bet on, my friend.
This is true. Do you know who else had Justin Rose as their top pick last week? No, Tim Andercust.
So here's what I'm going to say. I saw on Twitter, Andercust made some comment about feels like Rose is going to completely unravel now. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. And it dawned on me at the time, I should place a live bet on Justin Rose here. And I was going through the comments and everyone was just like, oh, this is the time to bet Rose. And I completely forgot to do it. And I was kicking myself for the entirety of the week. But it's weird because he tried to hedge his bet almost. In a way, whereas
see what he's doing, Rob? You see what he's doing?
I'm on to him.
Reverse curse. He's thinking about, I need the money now. I want to play McDonald's Monopoly. I'm sick of cursing everything all the time. Let's do the reverse curse. Anderson, this is what we talked about. This is good. So when we have Colin Morikawa, you call Colin Morikawa a dog and say, I hate that commercial with Rory McIlroy. Forgiveness? Yeah, it sucks. Give me Colin Morikawa. Right? You know what I'm talking about, Pat. He's a smart. That's the thing about Tim. He's a very bright individual. And I wish he started doing this years ago before mushing all of our bets that lost.
Rob, I did want to ask you because obviously you're doing 4-hour live streams every single day, basically over at thehammer.bet. Go to thehammer.bet, by the way, and sub to the Hammer HQ on YouTube. You can find all the info down in the description. But it does get very repetitive talking about it's one game to talk about. I mean, there are 50 million thousand props, but there's only you're going to like 3 of them. And those are the ones that you're going to talk about because you want to try to win with some of these things. But Cam just brought up the golf. I've been talking about golf. Even on the football show, we were talking about golf. Does golf this week in particular with the Waste Management feel like it's bigger than it's ever been, or is this just a complete golf bubble type thing?
I think it's a golf bubble type thing. So previously when I had been betting golf and doing it professionally, it was huge. The biggest win of my life, entire life, sports betting, was Gary Woodland winning the Waste Management. It was the Super Bowl of the Eagles and Patriots. And then I won the Super Bowl right afterwards with Nick Foles beating Tom Brady, which was probably the best betting day ever for me. But for me, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in my own bubble of just NFL for now. Golf is not going to pick up for me until football season is over. As much as I love the Waste Management, I'm going to watch highlights I love the whole setup and it's party atmosphere, right? Which is great. I think it's great for golf in general. But to me, my personal opinion just feels like this is you guys are probably living in the golf bubble right now. And there's a lot of hype for this tournament in the golf community, understandably so. But I don't think that for the casual, golf starts to pick up until after football's over.
I'll respectfully disagree, Rob. And I didn't know you were a Seattle Kraken fan all of a sudden. Go Kraken. I think, Pat, I've talked to so many people, and people are getting into this stuff now. This tournament has been absolutely huge. I know a lot of casuals that are turning in to the show asking for golf bets and stuff. And this tournament being in Phoenix with the Super Bowl in Glendale, I think is helping the situation. All the best players in the world with their rivalry with Liv. Rory's there. John Rahm went to Arizona State. I'm going to say this, Rob. Moving forward, you're right. Like, obviously, the Masters, whatever, but this handle for this golf tournament seems special. I don't know what you think, Pat, but I'm talking to regular people that are getting into it like hardcore now that never used to bet golf. That's just my opinion.
It's always difficult for me to gauge it because I'm doing 3 golf shows a week for the Tournament of Champions, and like no one really cares. But I noticed it normally happens for like the week before the Players, like once you get to Florida, or it used to happen if Tiger would play at the Farmers Insurance Open, but obviously he didn't this year. But the numbers for both the podcast, the articles, the shows, Rob, have basically doubled this week.
That doesn't surprise me. So I guess it depends on the definition, right? Like Cam's talking about betting handle. I think, yes, like this is Super Bowl week. There's more people that are in tune with betting that are depositing into sports books and stuff like that. They're betting on more things just in general. People aren't just depositing. Well, some are and betting the Super Bowl. But I don't know. Like for me, I'm a casual golf fan, I would say, at this point in the year. I'll probably throw down I tailed a couple of Jeff's picks on the Waste Management. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I said, you know what? I want to fire some darts, so I have some rooting interest over the course of the week. To that level, I guess maybe there's a little bit more interest, but am I going to be watching every round, every minute of every round of the Waste Management? Probably not. And I think that's where a lot of people are at nowadays in terms of just wanting a little bit of exposure, a little bit of excitement, something they can root for. I don't know that necessarily they're going to be tuning in to a lot of the Waste Management.
Additionally, on top of that, I just think that the Waste Management Cam works as such a good... You can watch 8 hours of Terry Bradshaw like struggling to string together sentences, or you can just watch the final round of the Waste Management, which will end before the Super Bowl starts. It is actually the perfect pregame show.
Pat, you nailed it again, buddy. That's you're absolutely right. They start a little bit earlier. They get done. All these guys, they have alma maters. Even Patrick Mahomes talking to Justin Thomas. Hey, Justin, if you win the Waste Management, I win the Super Bowl. Like, we're gonna go to Vegas like right after and party. Like, there's been a lot of crossover, I find too. And you said it, Pat. Just it's perfect for TV. It's a great tournament. I remember every single year when I've been in Vegas, me and Brian Blessing, God rest his soul, used to always watch the golf before we go to the Super Bowl party. We'd bet on it, hang out, have some vodkas with people. And it was like some of the most memorable days of my life, to be honest with you. Like, I equate the Super Bowl Waste Management as much with the Super Bowl. Like, to me, they're a package deal, buddy.
Right.
I love this. I love that Sunday. It's one of my favorites.
Well, let's try to win some money this Sunday. That would be nice. That would make people, hopefully the golf comes through, and then you can double up with the Super Bowl. That would be very nice. So we're going to talk about the gold picks, a recap of the last time you saw us 2 weeks ago. Swept the board on the gold picks, 3-0, back-to-back 3-0 weeks in the two after a struggle in the Super Wild Card round, the divisional round, the championship round worked out very well. 3-0 on the gold, 2-1 on the silver, 1-2 on the bronze. You know what bronze pick won, Rob?
I have a horrible memory.
My teaser.
Your teaser, right? Cam's teaser.
Oh.
Yeah, my horrible teaser with that crossed over every line in the book. Oh, hearing from everybody. You're right, Rob. Hey, no, funny thing is, Rob, you're absolutely right what you say. As I said before on the show with my boy, about sometimes, the thing is, there's two types of bettors, and you've known me. I like to have fun with my betting too.
Yep.
And the thing is, I'm different than the average guy who's doing it. I'm not going to say professionally. I do it every day. Hopefully win more than I lose, but I like to have fun with it too. And that's the thing. As long as you're telling people, I'm not going to tell you what I do is the smartest move or anything like that. But sometimes I think we take betting seriously. It should be a fun exercise, right? Like sex or anything else in your life. So let's have fun with it.
I did an episode with Pat last week where this is exactly what I talked about and why I think that this show works. We're all real with the audience, right? Like, Cam, you're not coming out and saying, I'm a pro bettor, get my picks, and I'm hitting at 90% over the last 3 weeks or whatever. No, it's just like, I like to bet on sports. I like it for entertainment value. And I think that's what works and what resonates with an audience. So I completely agree with you. Like, I just try to make the educational points, maybe on a channel that is not seeking education in sports betting a whole lot, That's fair.
Nice, Pat. Subtle swing at the show. You're saying, Rob, the IQ of our listeners is not as strong?
Listen, when that teaser hit, I did get an enormous, extreme amount of tweets about that teaser hitting, which goes to show, I think. But listen, it's no insult at the look at the comments on this section every week. People are here for entertainment. That's what people are here for.
Hey, and if they follow the gold bets this year, 32, 29, and 2, you basically got all your money back.
Yeah, juiced out.
Yeah. We did much better last year on the gold picks. I think we were like 15.
Oh, we sure did.
We were 15 games over last year. This year we're 3 games over. 3 games over on the gold, 4 games over on the silver, 2 games below on the bronze. If I could just bet every single day and lose 1% of my money, I feel like I'd be in a good place.
Listen, at the end of the day, break-even season, nobody lost anything. They got entertainment value. What else could you ask for, right? I mean, lots of people are betting for entertainment, and they're just slowly bleeding units over time because of the VIG. At least you didn't lose. That's the slogan of the Picks Show going forward. At least you didn't lose.
I see. I always like to say with the Pat Mayo experience, Cam, you will try to win, you'll probably lose, but I guarantee you'll get some laughs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Pat, we're riding Morikawa this week, the golf picks, the football picks. Here's the deal. You're going to live life. You're going to bet on this stuff. You're going to spend money on stupid things anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like my girlfriend and I'm not sure if I've talked about this on the show, like late night infomercial products like the Chillo. I go, wow, I'm a real hot sleeper. So this thing looks great. It's going to keep me cold. Next thing you know, I put my neck in, the thing's got a hole in it, and I got a water bed. Water all over the sheets everywhere. I go, this product sucks. You put it in the fridge, you get cool. Next thing you know, man, like, honest to God, I've seen alien tape. I've seen, great looking hair for people who got problems up top, the spray paint in a can for your hair. I've never, ever, ever seen a worser product than the Chillo. It was awful. Never. But now they have beds, right, Rob, with coils and mist, and it's going to help you in this condition. Keep you cool in the summer, get you hot in the winter. Anyway, yeah, I've been burned by those late night infomercials. Like, I actually buy that stuff. So, you know what? Just lose money sports betting. It's a lot more fun.
Well, how many times have you spent $20 to go to a movie and get a popcorn, and the movie's absolute dog shit?
20,
like $50.
20 $20. What was the last
movie you see?
Yeah, when was the last time you went to the theater, Rob?
I go to the theater every week.
It's $20. What do you go to the Tuesday matinee?
I go to
Landmark, like cat litter and piss.
Landmark Cinemas in Bolton, which is the best theater that you will go to, and it's less than $20 for a ticket and popcorn.
Lives in Bolton to get to the $5 theater.
It's 5 minutes. Thing, 5 minutes from me.
Yeah, from your domicile, Rob.
Okay.
Listen to this guy.
Well, listen, you're the one who's always talking about value, this and that value. There's some serious value. It's a VIP theater. It's just not in Toronto.
And it doesn't smell like piss? That's amazing.
It does not smell like piss.
Good for
I
you.
can say most theaters I go to don't smell like piss.
Well, if you're going for $5 a movie, they usually do.
Well,
cat litter in there. Anyway, enough.
Cam, I did want to tell you, if Rob's talking about deals, there still is a deal at omahasteaks.com right now. If you use code Mayo at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off whatever the deal. They have like 55% deals on right now, Valentine's Day deals. I think people should get some Omaha Steaks, use code Mayo, get that huge discount. Then you save yourself a bunch of cash from going out on the 14th. Just cook at home. You've been cooking them.
The opposite of Chillo is Omaha Steaks. I didn't get gifts from friends for years, and I see this box come to my door right after my furnace broke down. Mayo. Merry Christmas, Cam. Omaha Steaks. I cook those things in a pan like butter. You like them rare? Just don't be stupid and overcook them like an absolute turkey. Keep them nice in there, nice and easy. You could put them in anything, Pat. I slice them up with a little bit of Balderson cheese and a wrap, steak and cheese wrap. You could do them with broccoli and taters on the side. Anything you want to do. Those steaks are so damn tender. I'm telling you, Pat, give me the code. I'm going to order another box. I want to try some new cuts.
Code Mayo.
And want to get the heart-shaped steak for Valentine's.
Yeah, that's that's attractive. Hey, honey. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I'm taking my lady out to Zorro's. I'm upgrading.
Oh, there you go.
No, dude, that place is pure. Like, Pat, this is like an old school like mafia steakhouse up in like by the airport. It is awesome. Like they make the Caesar salad at your table, whatever. See, Rob, see? Hey, yeah. the Max Homa and Justin Rose monies. That's how they get spent. When when I win, my girlfriend's got a, I heard you won in golf this week. Oh, time for a good dinner.
It was just like the first. It was like it was like the first time I won big on DraftKings. I won $20,000 on my birthday, and my wife was like, "Hey, we could use a new kitchen." I was like, "I just won this."
Yeah, exactly, Pat. That's the best. Is every time you have a big one, you never keep it. It's like everyone sniffs it out. Your buddies, hey, drinks on you. Going out for wings, woman. Hey, I'm. This necklace looks very nice. How about a trip? Yeah. How about a new kitchen? That's amazing. That's 20 grand.
Best bets, Super Bowl 57. I will start, and I'm going to the total in this game. I like the under of 51 minus 110 at DraftKings Sportsbook right now. I am actually going to hold out on this one, Rob, because I feel like the closer we get to game time and the more money starts coming in on this game, 98% of it's going to be on the over, and I just think this line's way too high.
So generally, that's a pretty good rule of thumb, especially on the prop bets. You want to bet your overs early. If you want to bet an under, you kind of wait till game day when all that the public money has come in on those overs. I don't know how much it'll shift the total in this game because you do have some sports books right now that are taking like $100,000 per bet on the total. 51 is a key number. I think it probably just closes here, to be honest with you. But
then I'm good. Then I'll just wait and bet it on Sunday.
Yeah, no, listen, I don't, at this point, I don't think that there's any rush to bet the under in the game. Right Angle Sports, a release service, gave out the over a couple days ago, moved it up a little bit more, keeps ticking. People tend to chase that steam as well. So there's a lot of reasons I think to hold out. I'm just curious, Pat, in terms of your rationale, not that I disagree, but I've seen, complete opposite sides of this game in terms of the total. I'm a little bit neutral. So what do you see here in terms of the under?
So I just think I'm trying to pick a script to go with. I think that, listen, I don't have a strong lean on who wins this game. My bet would be Eagles minus 1.5, but I don't feel the need to compulsively bet on everything. And if I don't have a strong lean, then I'm not going to bet on it. But I do think that the Eagles are more likely to win. Let's call them like a 60% favorite in my mind in order to win this game. Well, how do they win this game? They do it by running the ball a ton, creating ball control, and limiting 3 Patrick Mahomes drives. If you can stop the Chiefs 3 times in this game, you're probably going to win as long as you can keep the ball. And I think that they can effectively run on the Chiefs defense. I think that the pass rush, which has been so good for Kansas City, is mitigated by the Eagles offensive line. So they're going to be able to convert a lot of these shorter third downs or even mid-range third downs because Jalen Hurts is either going to have time or he's going to take off. And when it gets to the point of the game where they need to keep the clock moving, I think that they're going to be able to do that. I just think they win this game in the trenches 10 times out of 10. They have a better offensive line. They have a better defensive line. And generally speaking, when you look back at the history of the Super Bowl, that team wins. And if the Eagles win, I think they win it like 23-17, something like that.
Fair enough. I agree.
Yeah,
so
I have 24-21, Pat, so we're kind of leaning under as well. Rob, what do you got?
I got 27-20, if I had to say. Eagles.
For Eagles?
Well.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So would be inclined with the under as well. Obviously, I just think that there's a lack of big play potential for these teams right now. I mean, KC obviously has Marquez Valdes-Scantling, downfield threat, but that's not really what they do anymore. Everything is kind of shorter underneath for them. It's death by 1,000 cuts with the Chiefs. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts being 100% in terms of like his throwing shoulder. We saw some bad deep balls against the 49ers. A lot of their stuff was kind of dink and dunk as well. So that's kind of, my lean is towards the under in the game just because I don't think that there's enough explosiveness out of these offenses right now.
Good news for you too, Cam, if you do like the under, and to hit on where Rob's lack of explosive plays comes in, Cust gave out as one of his best bets a touchdown of over 55 yards in this game.
Wow. I don't know. I kind of don't want to go after Cust anymore after that Justin Rose pick. I got to he got me thinking, like, this guy, maybe the curse in the new year, year of the rabbit turns around.
Which curse are you going with? He picked Justin Rose to win, but alternatively, before the fourth round started, he said that Justin Rose had no chance.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what's happening here. No, you're right. Anyway, yeah. I just like what he did, and I'd like him to keep it up, mushing things to help us win instead of lose. That's what I'm hoping moving forward. That's all.
I do think that Rob kind of hit on the key point here. If you wanted to bet overs on the props, you should have done that last week sometime. If you just blindly bet every player prop under from this point to the rest of the week, make 100 bets and bet 100 unders, you're going to walk away with money.
I would still say, though, to wait. Honestly, this is a consistent theme every year. Overs, you still have time to bet overs. Honestly, you do. Like, some of these numbers will move even more. Sunday, like, the majority of the handle for the Super Bowl is going to come in on Sunday. All the recreational bettors, everyone who's going to deposit into a sportsbook account, they're going to do that Sunday. And because of that, like, which recreation, I'm talking to my friends who never bet. They want to just bet $100 on the Super Bowl. They're not going to cheer for unders. They're all going to go into their account. They're going to bet a bunch of overs. That's what everybody's going to do. So you still have time. Honestly, if you like an over, I wouldn't divert from that at this point. But Super Bowl Sunday, if you're going to bet an over, the chances are it's probably a really bad bet at that time. Like, it's been bet into place. At that point, I don't want to say blindly bet unders, because you can get a Super Bowl like Eagles Patriots where you lose every bet on the under, right? Foles Brady, that Super Bowl was killer, but the value lies on the unders on Sunday.
So do you have a gold pick, Rob?
I do. I had to give that whole preamble because I'm going to give an over for
That's what you do, Rob. It wouldn't be you without giving you a friggin' soliloquy or preamble.
I have an over as well as my silver pick, so we're good to go.
Yeah, we're good.
My gold, I'm going to give Jerick McKinnon over 20.5 receiving yards, minus 110 at DraftKings. So what we've seen happen is the numbers for the Kansas City running backs have been highly adjusted based off of the last couple of weeks. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is activated off of IR. We don't know how much he's going to fit into the equation for KC at running back, so that creates like a little bit of uncertainty. But what happened against the Cincinnati Bengals was an Isaiah Pacheco passing game. I think he had like 6 catches for 59 yards. And now let's look at how the market has adjusted. 2 weeks ago, when the Kansas City Chiefs were playing, or 3 weeks ago, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jerick McKinnon's pass yardage total or receiving yardage total in that game was 35.5. Isaiah Pacheco's was 6.5 in that game. And now we've come a long way to where Pacheco's in the mid-teens and Jerick McKinnon is at the lowest spot you would have got him since the first half of the year. He got 4 targets last week for 17 yards. He's still being targeted in the passing game. On top of that, the Eagles have a fierce pass rush. They have the highest pressure rate in the league. They get home. What is Mahomes going to have to do? Get the ball out of his hands quickly. I think that lends itself well to using McKinnon in the passing game, using him in the screen game. I think this number's too low. One of the overs that I thought would actually fly a little bit higher up. Maybe there's too much uncertainty with Edwards-Helaire, but I like over 20.5 receiving yards on Jerick McKinnon, minus 110.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at my Run the Sims projection right now, and even with the under that I put in with my 23-17 score, do you know what his projection number is, Rob?
I guess, since I don't run the Sims?
Sure.
Go for it.
You can guess.
5 catches, 43.8.
It is
much lower.
2.4 catches for 20.6 yards. And that's with probably the worst case scenario for under.
See, what I've noticed? Just quickly, Rob, just quickly. I know I talk too much, but I got to say this. We have the smart computer and like all other things that we do on our show too. I've always noticed this, and you guys know because you guys run the Sims, how close it is to the real number. Like, say the Nuggets are favored by 8. It'll say Denver 7.8. It's never, like, when it blows us away, like, whoa, this team by 18. I'm like, what the hell's going on with the smart computer? He's obviously got a virus. He's sick today. Is that why is it so close? Because you run so many times and water finds its level, basically?
Correct.
Well, so, I mean, yes and no. And I would say that I mean, it's good and bad at one thing. Like, what I really want to do is run my numbers and have them be way off from the book and be like, oh, okay, here's a spot where my numbers say one thing and their numbers say another thing. I trust my numbers. I go with that. But generally speaking, like, most of your projections should be around where the sportsbook has them if they're, like, finally in tune. Right, Rob?
If you exactly, Pat, like if on Sunday there's, you log into any site and they have hundreds and hundreds of edges. Maybe Super Bowl Sunday's not the best example, but like a regular season Sunday, there's probably something wrong with that simulation because you've had the market who has the entire week to bet all these numbers into place. They do a pretty good job of doing that. In terms of what Cam's saying, it's just a matter of distributions, right? Like no one's when you run a sim, you have all these possible outcomes. And your example of like Jerick McKinnon getting 44 yards, that's going to happen like 3% of the time, 2% of the time, but it's on the tail end of one side. And basically what the sim is doing is just like converging towards the median or the average. So that's why it gets like very close to the actual spread itself. But to Pat's point, he's putting in a final score with 40 points on Run the Sims right now. The game total is 50.5, 51. So if he's putting in 40 and it's still spitting out Jerick McKinnon 20.6 receiving yards, if you put in 51, the likelihood of the receiving yards being higher than that, closer to 23, 24, is extremely high. I just think this is like a big time over adjustment. Like we react to what have you done for me lately type of thing. And McKinnon didn't get a target against the Jags in that game. And it's like suppressed his totals going forwards. He's still a huge part of that offense. And they target him in the passing game, especially in the red zone as well. So I think this is the number that stands out and looks off.
Yeah, so Cam, like I said, Run the Sims is free this week if anyone wants to go take it for a test drive. But there's a whole bunch of different features you can use. Under the NFL tab, there's a thing called the Player Prop Tool where you can actually see the distribution of the simulations and where it, like this one basically converges between 18 receiving yards and 25 receiving yards. Like 70% of the outcomes fall into that range. But the higher end, which you were talking about, is actually a larger distribution than the bottom end. And the bottom end factors in injury. Like he gets hurt on the first play of the game, too.
Right.
Know where I used to run the Sims, Pat? At the bar playing QB1. That was that's called Run the Sims for everybody over 45. Right, Rob? Remember that game? They used to actually have contests. Like you play QB1. It's actually hilarious. That's what, like, it's kind of like speed live betting. Oh, run up the middle. Quick hitch. Like you do all this stuff and they'd have competitions, you know, beers, wings, pitchers and stuff. Anyway, bring QB1 back. It was 25, 30 years ahead of its time. That's the original Run the Sims.
What is your gold selection, Cam?
I'm going to make this one boring and simple. And I have a couple real exotics at the end. I'm going to go with Philadelphia money line. Rob, I know we're not going to get into this again. Remember, I know the 1.5. I just want money line. I don't want any flack or any trouble. I just think they're going to win this game. I think my final score is 24-21 for the Eagles. I think we're all pretty close in this game. I think they're a better team. You talk about it. They lead the league in sacks. They're just better. People are like, oh yeah, they beat up on the Giants, the Cowboys. Yeah, both of those teams made the playoffs. I really don't care. I just think the Eagles are a better team than Kansas City. I worry about Mahomes with the time. I worry about Kelsey, but too much. These guys are pretty banged up, and I think the Eagles' defensive front can get to Mahomes and win a pretty tight Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a great game. So just give me the Eagles to win this game, Pat. That's what we're going to do. Keep it nice and simple. Gold.
Silver picks for Super Bowl 57. I am going to start with an over, Rob, in this one. And I've been tracking this one all week. It was 7.5, and the over just got juiced up so much I didn't want to bet on it anymore. And now they've improved it a yard, and it's back to minus 110 on DraftKings Sportsbook. So I will go with the same game script that I was talking about before and take Boston Scott over 8.5 rushing yards. I really want to bet Miles Sanders under 1.5 receptions, but I think that's, at this point, at minus 210, that is only in play if you do a same game parlay.
I did bet Miles Sanders under 1.5 receptions this week, which I like as well. No disagreements here. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty in the Eagles' backfield. I think both backfields in this game because you have 3 running backs who are going to be active for both teams, and they probably will utilize all of them. But I think Kenneth Gainwell's getting a lot of the love this week, and honestly, his numbers look a little bit too high for what Kenneth Gainwell is. Boston Scott in the single digits, I would much prefer that in terms of overs. So no disagreement from me, Pat. I think I think that's the play here.
Yeah, it's very difficult to figure out, Cam, because the Eagles' backfield has just been a three-headed monster, 4 if you include Jalen Hurts, the past 7 weeks, but most of those games were absolute blowouts. So, of course, they're going to use backup running backs. And maybe this is the Miles Sanders game. But I do think that there is, and I've been talking about this all week, and I don't have an answer for it, is if you can figure out the distribution of touches in the Eagles' backfield, you can have a pretty nice same-game parlay, because one affects the other. It does seem, though, Boston Scott is probably going to get 3 carries at minimum in this game. I mean, that seems like it's good enough to hit the over of 8.5.
I love it. I'm going to tell you, I don't know exactly what the Eagles are doing. I've already bet Hurts the over rushing yards. I wanted to have a little bit of a different approach on this show, but that's the thing. I find Gainwell, too. I'm not sure if this is true. Like more, I see they've utilized him more in the second half of the game, and I would also look for another thing, Pat, like you guys both talk about Boston Scott. He's on the field. Like his number for first touchdown or anytime touchdowns are through the roof. And I would not be shocked if it wasn't just like a simple player, maybe. Like he could be a guy that you might want to sprinkle on. He could be dangerous in this game. I like your pick.
Yeah, 25-1 to score the first touchdown in this game. Although Cust has said there's no chance that Kadarius Toney scores the first touchdown. So I bet on him.
Yes. Well, how is no chance that Kadarius Toney scores the first touchdown?
He might score the first touchdown. There's no chance he finishes the game. That's kind of what he should put. But anyway,
Cam, your silver pick.
I think you guys are going to like this one. It's a little bit different. Mahomes' first completion pass under 9.5 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I picking this? Just because I think Kansas City is going to come out and it's going to be check down city. We talk about the Eagles before with their sacks. Rob talked about their pressure. I could lose this bet, if there's a couple tackles broken, but I would not be shocked if it was a quick little hitch to McKinnon or Kelsey for 5 or 6 yards to start the game. Asking him to go over that number, I think, is a little bit ambitious. It's kind of a weird one, but guys, I really like it. I think the first pass is probably for a few yards. Asking him to go deep down the field for 10, I think that's too much. I like under. Mahomes, first completed pass, 9.5 yards. Keep digging under. Kind of a weird one. What do you guys think?
I like it.
Yep. I think the Super Bowl is a very different game, too. People don't like this isn't like a week 7 regular season game, right? There's a lot of pressure, a lot of nerves. You tend to see very low scoring first quarters. Both these coaches are smart offensive game planners. I think they know that. I think they try to get their quarterback into an early rhythm as well. So I agree with you, Cam. I think I could potentially see, honestly, I talked about this with someone else on the Hammer yesterday, but Kadarius Toney, first reception of the game first reception for the Chiefs at 8-1, I think is a great bet because I can totally see them just throw Mahomes, forget about the pass rush, something like that to try to get him involved. So I actually like this bet quite a bit. I'm actually going to tail it myself, Cameron.
It's funny, Rob, because I mentioned I had McKinnon rushing and receiving, and I will tail your 20.5 because I know everyone's talking about Pacheco, and I think McKinnon is the bigger part of the game plan for you. So we'll tail each other's bets. See, we're working it out together, pal.
There we go.
We work it out. I don't care. We don't have to cross any lines on a teaser. We're just making the same bets.
I want to punch that dog in the face.
No, you're not. He's a great dog. I won that dog drunk shooting baskets at La Ronde in Montreal. The guy's like, I can't believe you're hitting. It was like a trick game, Rob. You ever know when you're like, if you're like stoned or drunk and you get in that zone? I was in that zone. I hit like 5 in a row at that carnival and then almost died on the roller coaster as I was fatter back then. Maybe that's the reason I got this golf ball sticking out my stomach. It started on that stupid roller coaster. I'm never going on a roller coaster again. I hate them. Well, almost died.
Well, so at least you didn't go on the tooth chipper.
Yeah, the tooth chipper. Yeah, that's exactly. Have you been to that La Ronde in Montreal? That's the most ghetto roller coaster ever. I've never go. They put the bar in. It didn't even snap in. They started the ride. I could have died. I could have like flown right out there. I was like crying. Stop, please stop. At the end, I come out. I roll out. I pass out on the grass. I got big purple welts and stuff at the end. Roller coasters. It's a thin man's game. Done.
Silver pick, Rob.
Silver.
All right. This one will be a little bit harder to find, so I'll let people know. You go to DraftKings, you go over to Cross Sport Specials, and then NHL and NFL.
Well, here we go.
I'm going to go with a little bit of a long shot here. I'm going to take the total goals in Anaheim and the Vegas Golden Knights at plus 145 against total punts in the Super Bowl. So I'm saying more goals.
Hold on a second.
I love this. This is a good one.
Punts.
Yes. More goals.
All right, there it is,
So
right
more
there.
goals in the hockey than punts in the game.
Correct.
At
plus 145.
Plus 145. Okay.
Cool.
Here's one thing with the Anaheim Ducks. They are the worst defensive team you will ever see in your entire life. And I'm not exaggerating. Since they started tracking advanced analytics in hockey back in 2007, this year's Anaheim Ducks allows the most expected goals per game and the most actual goals per game.
Vancouver's pretty bad though, right, Rob?
Vancouver is third worst of all
Thank
time. It's the three worst teams are all this year. It's the Ducks, the Blue Jackets, and the Canucks.
See, I didn't even need a computer to run the Sims. I could have told you that off the top of my head just by watching these games, how much they stink.
Exactly. There you go. And listen, for me, this is not about like I think that the Super Bowl is going to be a super high scoring game or whatever. I just know that there's a decent possibility that Anaheim is going to give up 5 or 6 in this game to Vegas. You have a chance of getting 9 or 10 goals, which I think is a realistic possibility in the game. And then I think you have a very, very good bet on your hands relative to the Super Bowl punts. On top of this, even though Pat mentioned that he likes the under in the game, if he described why he likes the under, it's more so clock ticking, a lot of shorter passes, so on and so forth. I can see this being a field goal type of game to cash the under, where teams are able to successfully move the ball, but they bog down in the red zone. The defenses come up big. So ultimately, I just think that this is mispriced. I would have made this closer to like plus 120. I love taking long shot bets in it. I mean, it's not a long shot, but an underdog bet. I'm with Cam. Nothing better than cashing a nice underdog on Super Bowl Sunday. So I'll root for goals in the hockey game, Vegas, Anaheim, and I'll root for less punts with aggressive coaches, by the way, especially Nick Sirianni. Guy went forward on his own 33-yard line on a 4th and 1 last week or 2 weeks ago. So I don't think we see that many 4th down attempts as well in this game. Or 4th down punts as well in this game when you have like a short yardage that either of these teams can go for it.
Bronze selections for Super Bowl 57. I will be starting with one that is probably the least fun thing to cheer for, Cam. Like I said, I like the Miles Sanders under 1.5. I can't give that a minus 210. That's ludicrous. Yep. Patrick Mahomes under 294.5 passing yards. It's just going to be sitting there being like, oh God, the entire game. But I think everything that we've said, like I've seen a lot of people love the completions over, the passing attempts over, just because of the amount of expected short passes. And maybe we're all just completely off on that. Wouldn't be the first time groupthink on a game went completely off the rails. But it's going to be, listen, he got there against the Bengals. If they're playing catch-up the entire time, that could be it. But if you think this is a close game, I can just see a lot of chain moving. Like I said, ball control, short passes, clock moving, and no real deep threats outside of Marquez Valdez-Scantling. If you take that away, it's just going to be a bunch of 6-yard completions the entire time. So I'm going with the under on Mahomes.
I like it.
It was on my short list. It was one that I considered for today as well. I think that's the play. I honestly don't mind 294.5. I think the likelihood that you might get a little bit higher, closer to game time, is there as well. So I don't know that you need to place the bet right away, but I will be on Patrick Mahomes under. I'm going to bet it on Sunday. I'm just waiting for the best possible line, maybe 297.5. Maybe we even hit 300 in this case, but it's just a little bit inflated against a very good pass defense with a good pass rush, great cover corners. Not too many people move the ball up and down the field on the Eagles consistently. I agree with you, Pat. I think this is too much.
It's funny, looking at the projections for their yardage, it's off in both directions based on what my numbers are telling me. It's saying that Hurts is going to go over his 230, whatever the hell it is, 239.5. I have him at 250, and where Mahomes is at basically 295 with the ability to go higher, I have him at 271. Like, that doesn't seem like a lot. That's 21 yards. It's more than that. It's 24 yards at this point.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's going to go up though, Pat. If you like that bet by the time of taping, to Rob's point, I wouldn't be shocked. People love overs. Might even hit the 3 bills by game time. So if you like it, just wait a bit.
Yeah. So that's probably what I'll do, but I'll give it at 294.5 right now because that's what it is right now. Rob, last one.
Okay. I'm gonna pull a John Legeza here. And I'm going to do kind of like a split bet because this is kind of how I'm playing it as well. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown score is minus 115. I'm betting that for about 80% of my total bet. I'm also betting him last touchdown score at plus 800. So I'm the majority of the bet is on anytime touchdown score, but I also am betting him last touchdown score at 8-1. And honestly, Jalen Hurts' touchdown score numbers have been undervalued for the entirety of the second half of the year because he didn't score touchdowns at that high a clip in the first half of the year. And if you look at recently, when he hasn't scored touchdowns, he's either had a huge game like he did against Green Bay at 157 yards on the ground, no touchdown, or the Giants in like the final week of the season where he's just coming off a shoulder injury. They didn't want to use him. But this is a team that knows how to get into the end zone when they are in these goal line situations. They ran a quarterback sneak from the 2-yard line against San Francisco to set up a quarterback sneak from the 1-yard line for a touchdown. They know that this is a high percentage play in terms of scoring touchdowns. They run it all the time. They're not a team that turns around and hands off to Miles Sanders at the 1-yard line. It hurts. Then you have the added bonus of him being able to escape the pocket, do things. It's not like he needs to be at the 1-yard line to score a touchdown. He scores from the 10 on these RPOs that they run, these option plays, and so on and so forth. I think he's very lively. It's the final game of the year here. Shoulder injury aside, he puts it all on the line for the team. I made this price higher, obviously, and that's why I'm giving it out. It's moved a little bit, and that's why I dropped it to my bronze, or else it would have been my gold, honestly, on the show today. But I think Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown score and a sprinkle on last touchdown score at plus 800.
I really like this idea. I utilize this. John was doing the football and baseball show for us last year on Mayo Media Network. And his strategy that he kind of convinced me of when you're betting underdogs in football, to kind of do like a 75-25 split between the spread and money line. And over the long run, if you are good at picking underdogs, these teams win all the time in the NFL, that you might as well try to get that bonus, and the bonus of them winning offsets the 3 times or 2 times you're going to lose on it or something like that. So I really like that strategy.
On top of that, John is great, by the way. He's like, from an entertainment perspective, fantastic, but he also understands how distributions work, right? So he'll often take, like if he's taking a receiver over on receiving yards, he'll actually put a little bit sprinkle on like
a ladder,
an alternate. Exactly. He ladders it, right? An alternate total at plus money, plus 200, plus 250, because the likelihood of them going over that number, you look at the distributions afterwards, you get a lot of these long tail ones where they put up huge numbers. So I think he recommended Devontae Smith for this week in terms of laddering for receiving yards over. But I like this general notion. And the only reason I'm taking the last touchdown score was because, one, I obviously think it's a good price, but close game. We've seen this like especially later. I'll backtrack a little bit, but like early on in the game, if Hurts is sporting the shoulder injury, like if still not healed, and like there seems to be a common consensus that it's still a major issue for him, maybe he's a little bit more reluctant earlier in the game to put it all out on the line. But if we get to late in the game, whether it's to seal the deal, to go up in the game and so on and so forth, I think you get him like all in terms of these rushing attempts. So that's the only reason that I decided on the last touchdown score as well.
Cam, last one. Make it a 9-0 week.
I hope so, Pat. We're going to do something fun again, but I actually kind of really like this one. Jersey number of first touchdown score, 11.5, under, minus 120. It's a little bit of juice, but bear with me. Look at these guys with low numbers in this. Hurts, right? All these guys. We talk about Devonta Smith, like a lot of guys that I have. Who's going to kill me? Miles Sanders and the tight ends.
And Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes ain't getting the first touchdown. I don't think he's going to run. He might, like, if they're up in the game and has to do something, but I worry about that. Pat, I know it's a little bit of a roulette wheel, but I looked at the guys who are under that number, Rob. Take a look at all the guys that are under 11.5. Lots.
Yep.
So there's more, and you guys want to, like, run the Sims or whatever, and look at the guys that are under 11.5 to over, and I like my guys better. Would you not agree?
So I'll tell the audience all the numbers that are under 11.5 on offense for both teams. So for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, number 1, Zach Pascal, number 3, Devontae Smith, number 6, and A.J. Brown, number 11. So you basically get the receiving core outside of Quez Watkins for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
And for the Chiefs, you have Jerick McKinnon as number 1, Juju Smith-Schuster, number 9, Isaiah Pacheco, number 10, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, number 11. So those are your players on offense.
I rest my case.
So to look at it, and I'm just looking at my projections right now. So Hurts, Pacheco are the 2 most likely players to score a touchdown on the ground through the rushing game. And in the receiving game, the most likely contributors are Kelsey and Goddard, so you got to fade them. Then you have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Jerick McKinnon are the next 5.
Yes. So you basically fade the tight ends, essentially, is what you're doing with this type of bet, which I don't hate. Honestly, I think that's I was a little skeptical at first, Cam, but you know what? Went through the numbers.
Coming around. Yeah. My database, Rob, it's just, got some more memory this week. I like other things too, but we could only do 3 picks on the show. Super Bowl, Pat, we should probably do like an extravaganza buffet, but how do you guys feel about Hurts' rushing over? I think I wouldn't be surprised if he ran for 100 yards in this game. I think Smith is going to have a huge game for the Eagles. What is his longest reception? 23.5. There's a lot of things I like, but this one, Rob, it's fun. Under 11.5 first touchdown score jersey number. Let's roll.
I agree. I think this is one of the most fun bets you can make. You have tons of different rooting interests on every single play, and you'll know right away when that touchdown happens because you'll be able to see that jersey number.
Yes.
This is a great party bet, I would say, for sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I love to party.
So I have been thinking about this as we've been talking, and I've put together a same-game parlay that you can do if you want to win a little bit more money. Unfortunately, we can't put in Vegas and Anaheim over goals on the same-game parlay. That's too bad, I suppose. So here's a 4-banger, pays 10 to 1. So 100 pays 1,000 on the same-game parlay. Under 51.5 in the game. Jerick McKinnon over 20.5 receiving yards. Miles Sanders under 1.5 receptions. Boston Scott over 8.5 rushing yards. Pretty low totals, and then just the under in the game. 10 to 1.
Well, Pat, you've already fixed your kitchen. What can you do with 1,000?
I'd still like the 1,000.
Fryer?
I'd still like
Cabot
the 1,000.
Cliffs.
Yeah, I could go to Cabot for the weekend, I suppose.
There you go.
Nice. There you go. Yeah. Sounds lovely.
I'm already trying to book my time for May when the course opens, so that would be nice.
Beautiful. Great golf in the East Coast.
It can be. Great golf in Cape Breton. I'll put it out there for that. I did want to do one more thing with you guys, if you got a moment.
Yes. Is this the food thing?
Yeah, I think we should do our best bets for Super Bowl food. What do you think?
I have go-tos that'll never change, Patrick. You know that.
So you know what? You can be up first. Gold pick Super Bowl food. Cam Stewart, the floor is yours.
Chicken wings. Like I know it's so simple and basic, but that's I never come over to exotic. You like my guacamole dip? Yeah, I do. I hummus and bread. We can do that on a Wednesday night. I'm a chicken wing guy. If you get them buffalo. Here's another thing. I don't need breading. I don't like when I go to restaurants. I like a buffalo style, just regular wings. A little bit of sauce. I'm a blue cheese guy. I know the younger generation likes ranch. I'm old school.
No.
Just give me
blue cheese.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If you're a wing man, it's a blue cheese man. Give me wings as the gold. It will always be gold if they're done properly. Nothing like chicken wings. I can eat them all day, all night. I have a real problem with chicken wings. Probably my death row appetizer. Chicken wings.
So I am not in on blue cheese. I am also not in on ranch. I need my wings to be as hot as possible.
Yeah, I like yes, but both, Pat.
Temperature or spice?
Hot. Yeah, both.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I'm with Cam. My gold pick is wings too. I think they're just the easiest Super Bowl food to manage.
Thank you, Pat.
If we did this 10 years ago, I would have been with you guys on gold and said wings. And here we go. Cauliflower bites. No, here, please.
No. Zucchini sticks.
No, we're not going there. Okay, wings is my silver. Okay, the only reason why I downgrade wings, and this is the truth. Wings, hand foods are so hard for me nowadays because when you're live betting, You need
Rob,
it.
Rob.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
this is just you've hit new levels.
No, it's
I'm
not.
calling bullshit.
No.
Just have wet naps and a damn.
No,
roll of
it
paper
doesn't
towel.
work. It doesn't
Yes,
work.
It does work.
When you're live betting the Super Bowl, you got like 20 seconds to place your bets.
Easy Star Trek.
My phone. I
might
might as well get a new phone when I'm done the Super Bowl with the amount of grease that's on the Super Bowl. I'm going chili, number one. Chili is my goal because it's easy.
I like chili.
You got a bowl, you're scooping, you're shoveling, live bet happens, you don't have to wash your hands or anything like
Pat,
that.
are you listening to this horse shit though? Yeah, that 1 second it's going to take you to rub your damn fingers.
Everyone who live bets out there knows exactly what I mean.
I bet out there and I got covered in wings. Just hammer your phone and give it a wet nap afterwards.
Oh,
come on, Rob. Get it together.
The phone, you might as well throw the phone in the garbage afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well, because it's got some sauce on it. Pat,
yes.
Defend me on this one. This guy's talking nonsense. Usually it's me.
I'm with Cam on this one. Rob, what you need to do is take the Tim Andercuss strategy and wear medical gloves when you eat wings so the sticky sauce doesn't get on your hands.
You know what? It's actually not a bad idea for the Super Bowl. It's actually not that bad. Think about what
you're saying, and I do enjoy. Yeah. Calm down, Star Trek. You can figure this out.
Nope. It actually
beat me up by a second.
For this one particular, by the way, it depends on who you're watching with. Like, I'm not going to go to a party of people that I don't know and put on like gloves while I'm eating.
Yeah.
Why not? If it's such a great idea, why don't you do that? Because people might think you're a fucking lunatic.
Well, if I host my own party, which I'm doing this year, I might do it. I mean, it's easy. It's quick. Like the live betting is important. Last year, like Odell Beckham Jr., these players get hurt in games, and you can get in. Like, you're going to get the best EV bets of your life. This is what I do, people. This is what I do. I think about things in terms of betting because it's my livelihood. But yeah, like the sauce on my hands, I can't deal with that. Like, I love chicken wings. They're the best food. If this is like pre-Super Bowl snack or like food, I'm going to pound a bunch of chicken wings at 5:45 this week, 45 minutes before the game. That's going to happen. But in the game itself, I like to keep my hands clean so that I can quickly do what I need to do on the phone. That's it.
And you're making wings your silver pick for the food?
Yeah.
Wings are my silver pick. They get downgraded slightly because they affect the ability to live bet during the game. And of course, I can just take my greasy hands and put them all over my phone and do all. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to deal with cleaning my phone.
It's not that difficult. It's called rub the screen. You do it when you're touching your phone a lot. Anyway.
It's not just the screen that gets it, though. It's when you're holding it, your fingers go around the outside. It causes
What's your phone made of? It's not a 1960 TV carved in mahogany. It's a damn phone with a smooth surface. Wipe it. I'm not going to buy this argument, Pat. I'm coming at Rob hard on this one. No, I don't care.
This is legit.
Mayo agrees. What, your 1.80 seconds on your friggin' futuristic computer going to help you with your live bet? Spinning.
Yes, it does help.
Doesn't matter.
It makes a huge difference. Massive.
Okay. Pat, do we need alcohol in this, or is it just food?
We'll just do food for now. BYOB. How about that?
Okay, yeah. For me, anyway, vodka's the winner because you can add water, soda, anything to it. It's a multi-purpose beverage. Shrimp ring is my silver. Can't get enough shrimp ring. It's one of those things too. I'm sorry, Rob. Maybe I won't hold the sauce. Rob might get some shrimp. I know. Well, but that's why it's got a container, so I can go.
Yes, shrimp ring's easy. The shrimp tail doesn't get dirty. You just dip. I love
dip
the
and pull.
Cocktail sauce is like.
Just like Homer Simpson at the all-you-can-eat buffet. Does this look like a man who got all he can eat? No! Shrimp ring. Silver.
I am just going to try to be in a coma by the time the third quarter comes around because with my wings, my silver pick it's ribs. Fall off the bone ribs. Give me as many ribs as possible.
I like ribs.
Yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't love ribs?
I love ribs. My same point is going to apply to the rib. Like, I love ribs. Ribs are amazing, but come on, man. Like, now you're getting two hands. Like, who's eating ribs?
He's already got sauce on his hands from the wings. Don't you get the concept? Pat, can I go with bronze?
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to go chili. You know what here off the board? Oysters.
Oysters.
Yes.
Just looking at
all right, my bronze is caviar this year.
No. Stick with me. Oysters, I got a shucking knife, whatever. I do it pre-game, oysters. And then no matter what happens in the game, it's an aphrodisiac like powdered milk. You can still have sex afterwards. No matter win or lose, you're ready to go. Oysters, bronze. Who cares about the live bets? You're still making love.
So why not dark chocolate as an aphrodisiac
as well?
It's
not the same, but not the same as oysters.
It's on a different level of aphrodisiac.
Oysters is top of the food chain. Dark chocolate's good. Don't get me wrong. So are edibles if you want to. Anyway, but I'm going to tell you oysters is the win. And I knew I'd shock you. Oh, yeah, don't worry, Rob. Don't have to get your hands dirty. I got a shucking knife. I got everything. I buy boxes of oysters. Shuck. I love seafood.
Are you cooking the oysters, or is this oysters Rockefeller?
Know what you do, Pat? This is the way you do them. Oysters, very simple concept. Oysters shuck on a big tray, round, little bit of Tabasco, and a little bit of vodka in there too, and slide them down. Just right like you're a child going down the slide at recess, right into your mouth. Lovely. You're going to have a great Super Bowl. You got wings, you got oysters, you got shrimp ring.
You got heartburn. Mixing all that stuff together.
More from the shrimp, the sauce. That might give you some heartburn.
Well, Cam, can we get some antacid power rankings in case you do suffer from heartburn?
Well, I'm actually on again the medical leagues of one like stuff that's stronger. But I will say this for over-the-counter antacids, the winner obviously is Gaviscon takes the gold. It is a fantastic one, liquid or pill form. Silver, Malox, it's very, very good. And for those, and you need a quick one, Pat, I'm a tablet guy. I'm going to say this, though. Guys, actually, I'm going to give you a real good hack today on the show. Eno is so much better than Alka-Seltzer. There's Alka-Seltzer tabs don't go into the effervescence. They don't bubble quick enough. Eno's ready to go. Bang, it's in powder form. You throw it back, ready to go. So if you're in a pinch, Eno powder, Gaviscon is the gold, and Malox is the silver. Tums are for children. So are Rolaids. I rest my case.
If you want to go to the big leagues, what do you get?
Well, prescription, like something stronger than I'm on this pill. It's like Nexium, but it's stronger.
Oh. Should I be giving out shots of Pepto-Bismol at my party?
Pepto's okay, but it's more. I think it's more of a diarrhea cure rather than heartburn.
Well,
I think
nausea,
it's better for other
heartburn, indigestion,
nausea,
upset stomach.
Yeah,
diarrhea.
nausea. Gravol's the best. If you have nausea, take Gravol. See,
Gravol will put you out though. Gravol will put you on your ass.
No, not the ginger ones. Ginger ones.
The ginger one is. Don't get me started on the ginger Gravol. Stuff is straight bullshit. There is no way that just go take a bite of ginger. That's nothing.
Non-drowsy. They have drowsy and non-drowsy.
The ginger one does nothing. I can't even tell you how many times I tried that ginger one so I wouldn't fall asleep. I will not stand for promoting the ginger. Gravol itself is great. Yeah. It'll put you on your ass, but you're not going to be nauseous anymore.
It's the same man that's talking about surgical gloves while eating chicken wings.
Guys,
nothing you say.
I cannot believe you guys are arguing with me on this.
Why don't you just use a knife and a fork, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, listen. To unlock my phone, I have to do a fingerprint on the back. You know what that's like?
Who are you, a spy?
No, this is a modern piece of technology, Cam. This isn't a phone from 2016. I got to put my fingerprint on the back to unlock it. You know what that's like when you're eating chicken wings? You got to go to the washroom, wash your hands thoroughly. There's no time for that shit during the Super Bowl. There's no time. Zero.
Get another machine. You can do
I could.
Get two.
Well, am I going to bring my laptop with me wherever I go?
I don't know.
That guy at the party breaks out the laptop?
Why not? You're saying live betting is your livelihood or whatever?
Sauce all over the keys. That just creates another problem.
And again, you could solve it with a wet nap. But I'm done arguing with you there, Seattle Kraken. Like, enough.
So
Gravol works. The ginger Gravol's fine.
The ginger Gravol is bullshit.
Oysters for Cam as his bronze selection. So to pair with your chili and wings, Rob, what is your bronze selection of Super Bowl
pizza?
food?
Pizza is my bronze.
Too heavy.
I like you get a nice thin crust pizza, beautiful. You have a few wings here. You can double fist if you want to with some pizza as well. I think it's a perfect combo. If you're already going to ruin your hands with the wings, you might as well do the pizza as well. And I think that's honestly a perfect trio. I listen. One year I might try oysters for the Super Bowl. I like a little shrimp cocktail ring as well. Don't get me wrong. I think these are these are giving me some ideas, Cam. So I appreciate that.
Oh, I love you too, Rob. I just this live betting thing, you threw me and Pat for a loop. But anyway, oysters are really underrated. I know I come up with a lot of, they're like, okay, no, trust me. I shuck them. I actually went in and got the professional knife. I enjoy doing it. It's kind of like pistachios. People are like, oh, I like the ones with the shell because you don't eat as you actually work for your food.
Agreed.
I don't like the ones without the shell. I like them. I like to just pick them, and that's why oysters, shucking's part of the game. If you're going to enjoy something that lavish and delicious, putting a little work in is fine. Yep. That's work I enjoy.
Little horseradish and Tabasco as well.
Yeah, horseradish, Tabasco, good call, and vodka. Little drips of vodka too. That's the perfect oyster.
All right.
All right. So for my wings and ribs compliment, I will go with some fish for this one. So I'll go seafood with you as well, Cam. I'm going to go with bacon wrapped scallops, though, as my very light on a toothpick. A nice just pop in anytime as long as they're still warm. Just boom. You could eat like 3,000 of those. And just
you know what, Pat? I want to substitute shrimp ring for bacon wrapped scallops. What a pick.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Fantastic. You can't go wrong with bacon wrapped scallops. I agree. Scallops. And the beauty of them, Pat, of course, you get to keep your hands clean. You just pick up that toothpick, slide it off, chuck the toothpick into the corner if you're at Cam's house, or else the garbage can.
If you're at my house, just throw it on the carpet with the loose nuts and lint and pills, maybe some crushed up aspirins and gravel I got under the couch. You never know what you're going to find. Usually a toonie.
If you could guess what Cuss' top 3 would be.
Jell-O. Gold.
I was going to say canned Vienna sausages.
Tapioca pudding, silver.
He did say that the best appetizer that you could bring to anyone's house. What the hell was it? Now I completely forget.
Pumpernickel?
No. I think it was jalapeno poppers. Paul, what was it? What was Cuss' thing that he was bringing to people's houses?
I like jalapeno.
Matzo sticks. Matzo sticks was his thing.
Okay. So know what the problem with matzo sticks are? No flavor. You need dips. Like they just don't give it to you.
Matzo sticks are fine. Like they're fine.
For children at Long John Silver's.
Sure. The jalapeno poppers are, I think jalapeno poppers are great. The only problem is you have such a temptation to eat them right when you bring them out of the oven. And the first one, you always burn your entire mouth. Like you just pop it and it's disaster. And that's what always kills me with the jalapeno poppers. But I think that's fine. Matzo sticks, I don't know.
Matzo sticks are pretty boring. You need too many dips.
I would try to.
Poppers are good.
I think staying away from sugar as much as possible on Super Bowl Sunday is really the move.
I agree with you. Me and Rob got diabetes. Like sugar is my enemy right now. When I found a low sugar wine, it was like a life changer. Like it's been great. It's not really helping my drinking, but it's been a nice addition to the rotation other than vodka and water and soda. Yeah. Excellent.
Yep.
Super Bowl 57 best bets, food, and the actual bets on the game in the books. Cam Stewart, Rob Pizzola, thank you for an incredible year. Year 2, this was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah. Except for when Great Cam mocked me with his dog a couple weeks ago with the teaser plays. I didn't have too much fun with that.
My life, it's so important. I can't get salsa. Oh, yeah, my modern phone with its lock. Ooh, shut it. Even Pat mocked you for your sauces. I love you, Rob.
This is
you're
not
a piece of work. You're a piece of work.
I will admit when I have really, really, really bad. There's times.
No, you're wrong this time. My takes are usually the awful ones. You're in the wrong. And Mayo backed me up.
I hope you have to make a bet during the Super Bowl and you get sauce all over your phone.
I hope my phone's covered and I do it every night.
Well, that's the difference. That might be the difference. If your phone is already covered in sauce, then sure, why not? My phone is clean. It's not covered in sauce.
And a friggin' tissue or a paper towel roll. It's not that hard. God, Kleenex. Right, Pat? Anything. This guy.
I mean, I don't have a problem with sauce all over my hands at all times, so I'm just not a messy eater like Rob, I guess.
Yeah.
What are you guys eating? Dry wings with I like saucy wings. I don't mind dry wings either, but anyways.
You see, I enjoy to have the dry wings and then have my sauce of choice, so I can control the distribution of sauce on my wings.
I see what you're saying.
And then it doesn't get on your hands.
It's a pro move.
I don't want my wings too saucy. A little bit of sauce. You don't want them dry, but yeah, I agree with you. You control your own sauce.
Yep. Well, I'm going to try to wear the surgical gloves this year and see what happens.
It sounds like it's your best move, Rob.
I think this is best idea yet. For one day a year, I'll rock the gloves with the Wings.
Remember to smash the like for the episode. Sub to Mayo Media Network on YouTube. Please leave that rating and review if you've enjoyed the show all year long. You can catch Cam Stewart on Sports Grid. You can catch Rob both on the show. Obviously, go back out and watch that show that we did last week about the sports betting industry. And you can always catch him on thehammer.betting over at the Hammer HQ on YouTube. Go subscribe to that now. Thank you all. Have a very profitable Super Bowl. I'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience.
Avocados from Mexico, minus 300 over Rakuten. Okay, like commercials. What the fuck are we talking about? Was it Budweiser minus 140 versus Heineken? Like, I don't know. Budweiser, I guess. Don't want to lay the juice.
All right. You guys good?
Yeah, you're the man, Pat. Let's keep the party going, buddy.
Let's do it.
Experience.